All right, welcome back. We are live. MinerTalk here, presented by Jack in the Box. I'm Adrian Broadus. We got a full house here tonight. Sal Montes, co-host of MinerTalk, is with us. Zay Galindo is back. King Eric in the house. Our spring intern, Eric Reyes. Chris Collins from Inspo Lens burning the midnight oil. What a long game tonight. I mean, it felt good that UTEP got a big victory. CUSA tournament hopes are still alive. We'll talk about the scenarios. We'll talk about how UTEP could get themselves into Huntsville, Alabama. We mentioned this before. Does it matter? Does it not? I was saying how maybe you could get a jump start to your offseason right away if you're UTEP, but it was clear right away. I mean, the Miners made it clear. This team was ready to win tonight. They had that kind of swagger, that kind of mentality. Jamal West Jr. for almost 30 points tonight. What a game. 2 blocks, 2 steals was also the impressive stat line for me. And then I really loved what we saw from L.A. Hayes off the bench. 13 points. Kasim the Dream Watson hitting that three-pointer before halftime. We'll talk all about that. Our telephone number, 915-505-6009. We're asking you right away. We're ripping the Band-Aid off because Saturday is uncertainty. Saturday could be our final show here on MinerTalk. We could be donezo after that, Sal. And that's why tonight, 78-71, we'll talk about the game, sure. But this is the good time to sneak in our favorite Conference USA players of all time list. And this list is one of those that we've talked about, we've previewed all year long. I threw out this question to some friends of the program. Alex Nicolas got some good texts from, and tweets and messages from this one right here from some of the OGs who listen to the show and who follow Conference USA and UTEP basketball. So I will be asking the listeners and the callers their favorite Conference USA player, and they can include UTEP players. I mean, go ahead, throw Randy Culpepper, throw Vince Hunter, throw any of those guys, throw Stephon Jackson in the conversation, throw, if you want to throw the modern day guys, throw in Bryson Williams. Don't take Bryson Williams for granted. Throw Sule Boom in the conversation. Throw whoever you want in this one, but we want to hear from you. 915-505-6009. That's our telephone number. We're live on Inspo Lens. Check us out. Shout out to Inspo Lens. We are live on Twitter and X, live on YouTube, and there's a lot to break down here on the program. Let's start off with Conference USA refs, and it's not even this game, which, by the way, 2 hours and 30 minutes, Sal? Ridiculous timeline, ridiculous time frame for this one. Jacksonville State, New Mexico State is where we want to start this game because the Aggies, it was over. I mean, Jack State had it. It was done. And then the Aggies got fouled, and 3 free throw attempts, they get to the free throw line, they nail all 3 of them, they go to overtime, and you kind of just know they're going to win. CUSA refs are going to CUSA ref, and the way that the Aggies were able to eke out this victory, now all eyes are set for Saturday as to what happens with all these teams, including Florida International, who lost today as well, and now they're suddenly in this conversation for this 3-way tie.
Yeah, this league has just been insane. And, it's been fun to watch. It might not be the greatest basketball, but you're gonna have a blast watching these guys go at it because night in and night out, anybody can lose and anybody can win. So the Aggies able to pull out a huge win. Their season on the line because if they lose that one, it's a lot. It's a lot that needs to go right for them on Saturday. So they make it a little bit easier for themselves. They get that huge foul call. You can debate whether it's a foul or not, whether you call it or not. You got to give the guy props. So draining 3 free throws with your season on the line, it takes guts. So yeah, after that one, you kind of knew, hey, when something like this happens, you have all the momentum. You kind of knew they were going to pull that out.
That's why I'm scared for Saturday, Sal, because if the CUSA refs are involved, they're not going to want UTEP in this mix, right? Somehow Jacksonville State, if they're close in this one against the Miners, who, by the way, hard-fought game, quick turnaround, 1 p.m. tip-off on Saturday. That's a quick turnaround for UTEP. So the Miners don't just ultimately have this one in the bag. Now, the interesting part is if all the teams lose, follow along with me, if all the teams lose, Florida International, New Mexico State, UTEP, the odd man out is New Mexico State. They're the team. When you look at the head-to-head, they fall behind Florida International and the Miners. Even though they split the series with UTEP, they got swept against the Panthers, Sal. And now the Aggies suddenly could be outside looking in.
And that's such an interesting way to kind of to kind of deal with the tiebreaker. Like I've seen a lot of different ways, but I got to be honest, man, it's pretty cool. Only thing I hate is that we kind of find out like the second to last game of the season, right? I wish we'd have known about this earlier. However, it is a really cool tiebreaker. It's kind of like, hey, with the counterparts that you're with and you all have the same conference record, what is going to be the difference? And I think it's a cool new way to kind of institute things. But yeah, man, that's crazy to think, especially when you consider how some of these games have gone against these teams.
Yeah, Zay, I would throw it back to you. Florida International's a team that has really faltered down the stretch.
Yeah, they definitely are, and it's disappointing. We talked about them early in the year when they took down UTEP. They look like a completely different team now, and not in a good way. I think that's a program that, we had those conversations. It is, something that you can really build there. It's, in the middle of a beautiful city, a large city in Miami. It's pretty easy to recruit to. They're really putting the funds towards having competitive athletics as a whole. So I think you can kind of say whether they make it to Huntsville or not, it's been a very, very disappointing season for the Panthers and Jeremy Ballard.
Sal, would you think that any of these coaches are on the hot seat?
Oh, man, I don't know. I'd say no. I really don't think so. If I were to put somebody on
not even Florida International's Jeremy Ballard? No chance?
I mean, I don't think so. I think they have a lot in NIL coming. Maybe they want to, go ahead and give it another go. But no, I'm not off the board yet.
Okay. I was just kidding, curious because, Jason Hooten and the Tarleton State rumors kind of heated up a little bit over the weekend. I don't think that's the Joe Golding job. No question about it. I'm just jumping into that topic real quick. But after today with Jason Hooten going to overtime and eking out this game, like, this was a huge win right there, and a step in the right direction, Zay. I think his future is the most uncertain among the three. Like Jeremy Ballard, maybe they just run it back. Like Sal said, who knows with a program like FIU. They're more committed now to winning than before. But Hooten's the guy who, they win tonight, and that's a step in the right direction. They miss out on the tournament. That's going to be a terrible look on them.
Yeah, I think I want to flip-flop between those two. I think Ballard, there's no way. If they make it, I don't think there's any way that he's still on board.
Fair.
I mean, new president, new ideas on the board. They kept him this year. I don't know how. I feel bad, but he's never had anything great these past maybe 4 or 5 years. It's been it's been bad for the FIU Panthers, and I think missing out on the Conference USA tournament with an NIL budget like they had, that's, comparable to the middle of the league, where you should be in a position that you don't have to fight for your season come the end of the beginning of March. I think there's no way he sticks around. So I'd go with Ballard first and then Jason Hooten.
Yeah, I wanted to start with this one just to kind of put to bed the thoughts, and I think people were real upset the last MinerTalk, Sal. Like, people were infuriated after they lost the last Thursday game. I think it was to Middle Tennessee. I missed the Western Kentucky game, but that was terrible as well. I think now, this one right here, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think anyone among us thinks that Golding's leaving after this year. Are you on that same page?
No, I'm definitely on the same page. I don't think there's any, as far as what, I've seen, like in interviews and stuff, any type of cues, stuff like that, no. But even then, too, one thing about Golding is that he's very consistent, with what he says and his actions. So there's been nothing out of the ordinary for him. I think he's just, really, that's all that's in front of him. Going into today was Kennesaw State. Now it's Jacksonville State. That's pretty much all that's on his mind. I can't speak for him, but, what we've seen from him in the past, that's just the way he's acting.
All right, 915-505-6009. That's our telephone number. The buyout cost for Jason Hooten alone, that's probably where it doesn't get worth it. Like, we were looking at that today, and it's like $2 million, so no chance New Mexico State's going to do that. It would just be him getting another job. And, again, I don't know if that's going to actually happen. Also, I don't know if this is way too much attention put on one team. I'm sorry, I was dying there, guys. I had water through one end of the pipe, like wrong end of the pipe, and I just couldn't get it out, so I appreciate you guys steering the ship. 915-505-6009. The Kasim the Dream Afro, guys. Let's just jump into that. I mean, Zay, when's the last time we've seen this kind of hairstyle? And is this the best hairstyle we've seen in a while from a UTEP player?
I'm going to object. Calvin Solomon had the best freeform afro that I've ever seen. Like, he had the freeforms, the dreads were starting to come down. It was great. He had I think he has the best. But, Kasim's, he's right there with it. It's well taken care of. It's full. He has the headband below it, too. So, man, like, he would look sick. Like, if this was, like, the 80s, like, that would be sick.
Or 70s even. Like, throw it back even further. Sal, Kasim the Dream, did you see the fro? And then who's some other hairstyles we're forgetting? Because Calvin Solomon was a great name drop right there. David Terrell Jr. has some good
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
He did.
Yeah. No, definitely. Whether it was the fro, whether it was the braids, it was solid, man. So definitely, that's
Tay
my
Hardy,
nomination.
a little Tay Hardy braids.
Oh, that's that was solid.
Yeah, I think we had some good ones. Okay, but I like the Kasim afro. The pick or pass guys. I want to do a quick segment, and then we're going to just jump into the Conference USA players. We can take calls however long we have. 915-505-6009. We're presented by Jack in the Box. They got multiple locations in El Paso, open 24/7, 365 because cravings don't have a curfew. Shout out to Jack in the Box. We're also here on Inspo Lens, live on Inspo Lens. Big shout out to Thomas Adams Apparel. I'm rocking the Thomas Adams Apparel hat right now, the MinerTalk hat. We're going to introduce the awesome MinerTalk Thomas Adams Apparel collaboration, the premium performance hat. It's designed in collaboration with us here on MinerTalk and Thomas Adams Apparel. Check them out online, thomasadamsapparel.com. These purchases that will go for these hat will be making a direct impact. Proceeds from every hat sold will go straight to the Goldmine Collective, the official NIL collective supporting all UTEP student athletes. So, yeah, UTEP and MinerTalk, is on board with the Goldmine Collective. We're trying to give back. We're trying to support the efforts here on the NIL train. So if you like the MinerTalk hats, if you want to support a little UTEP NIL, visit thomasadamsapparel.com. You can learn more about buying these hats and seeing how your funds could go back to help some student athletes and UTEP and support UTEP NIL. 915-505-6009. Guys, I want to say this one right here. The Miners had 4 straight losses. They were coming into this one having 22 of the last 27 games featuring double-digit deficits, including the last 4 games, the last 4 losses. They were down big in all these games. In this one, Sal, I felt like the Miners stayed the pace, and they led for 39 minutes. I mean, they showed and they proved that they were the tougher team tonight, better team tonight all around, and it was just a good start-to-finish win by the Miners in this game. Even in the late parts, I don't think they were really that worried. They kept distancing themselves. They would see one guy get hot, the other guy get hot. L.A. Hayes went off in the second half. You got a chance to see what Jamal West could do. 28 points, almost 30 points in this matchup. What a night for these guys.
No, they were on fire. Another thing, too, Adrian, is I think what they were able to do today is get back to it defensively. You know what I mean? Kind of just get in the face of a Kennesaw State. Granted, too, you're able to play aggressive. Both teams were allowed to play aggressive up to a certain extent. But nonetheless, so they were able to get back to it on defense. Without that, I mean, they're not able to protect their leads and kind of go on these extensions. So that was big for what I saw.
915-505-6009. Other notes to mention right here in this game, I also thought that in the first half, when the Miners were up 9-2 early, I thought it just set the tone. Miners stretched the lead 11-5, then 15-6. Kennesaw roared back. They got their first and really only lead of the game, 20-17. They were fighting off the Miners. Then UTEP rallied back. They started to get some good bye minutes. Mohammed Bai, Big Mo, I mean, he was putting together some nice minutes in the first half. He had a block. He had a low post bucket. I mean, Zay, good day for Mohammed Bai. He had a nice one in the first half, and the Miners led by 10, 35-25 at the break, thanks to that Kasim the Dream Watson three-pointer.
Yeah, Bai is he's put together a stretch of games that, you can nod at. He's gotten a lot better. He was probably, funnily enough, he was one of the better players on that team against Western. I mean, he was really the only one that had a solid performance that I wouldn't say, yeah, that wasn't terrible, So, yeah, Mohamed Bai. If you can get good minutes from him off the bench, him and L.A. Hayes, like you're really in a good position for yourself.
Hey, I'll ask you this, King Eric, or you, Sal. You throw in some thoughts too, but the bench kind of showed up all around. Trey Horton even hit a 3 in this game. You know, you had guys like L.A. Hayes score 13 points off the bench, and like we mentioned, the Mohamed Bai minutes. Like they actually had production from their bench, which is more than we could say in weeks past for the squad.
Yeah, I think L.A. Hayes was the spark that I think we all needed, that they needed. He had a sick reverse layup towards like the middle, that second half. That was awesome.
Yep. Kind
of lit everybody up, got a fire under everybody else. So, yeah, L.A. Hayes was a big contributor tonight, and they needed somebody else to step up outside of Jamal West and Kasim Watson, so it was a good sign.
UTEP Miner texted in the program, don't start the show. The refs called about a foul and they need to review. By the way, the first game that we haven't been down by 10 in a while, so he was on the same level. I didn't even read that text before this one, but yeah, that was hilarious. Even Hunter texted in, any opportunity to call a foul on UTEP, it was called. How many did they end up in the second half? 15? In the second half alone, yeah, 14. Good stuff, Hunter. I mean, he's just guessing right there, but exactly right. The Miners had all of these like ridiculous fouls that were called in this game, so refs played a lot into it. Angry Tim Floyd fan does not like that. I'm tired of the Conference USA refs excuse. Name a fan base that loves the conference refs. I guarantee you Mountain West fans are telling the same way about their refs as any other fan base does. All right, okay, Sal, this one I'm cool with. I hear what he's saying. Don't blame the refs for an excuse. Miners won this game. Don't blame the refs for an excuse. But, dude, how, like, more than a handful of reviews? This game, you've done all these games this season, Sal, as a producer of our broadcasts. Has a game gone this long this season?
No.
Quicker reviews. That's what we're asking for.
Quicker reviews. I mean, this felt like a football game the way that it was going.
Yes.
A 2.5 hour broadcast for 40 minutes of basketball. And it's all because of the other Conference USA refs. I mean, hey, nobody wins or loses directly because of them. I get it. Maybe the teams are, if you want to put who's better, the refs or the teams, whatever, maybe there's a small barometer. But, hey, these guys are really bad. And, of course, Mountain West fans are probably going to hate their refs. Of course, ACC fans are going to hate their refs. But you know what? Their refs are better. It's like there's tiers of food restaurants, and it's like this is just bottom-tier food, you know? There's always a better restaurant.
Totally right.
That's a perfect way to put it. I mean, I watch so much college basketball. I'll watch the American East on like a Tuesday morning. You know, like I watch so much college basketball. I can say with absolute certainty, Conference USA refs they're at the bottom of the list. You know, like I get where we're coming from. Don't blame the refs for this. I get it. All refs are bad. No one's gonna like the refs. We don't like the refs, not because they call bad things against UTEP, because they call bad things against the game of basketball. How they referee, the terribleness, the long reviews, the horrible calls. I mean, sometimes I wonder, like, how did you get this? Like, how did you land this?
There was this one where it was like a clear lane violation, like on the free throw. And Golding's just like ripping into the refs like, how does this even happen? Like, how do you not call this? Like, clear lane violation by Kennesaw, and what you're supposed to do is a dead ball and it's UTEP's ball, but then they just redo the free throw, or they kind of reset, and it was just like they had lost order, and that's where my issues lied with the refs. But enough about the refs. Let's move on. Now in 550-56009, we'll get to our favorite Conference USA players here in just a little bit, but let's wrap up the breakdown of this game. And then if you want to weigh in on this one, now in 550-56009. Look, UTEP mentality was control what you can control. And in the second half, they were up by 10. Kennesaw showed some fight. They went on a big run. They tied the game 44-44, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go. How many? Raise your hand. I mean, like, it was like feeling like Groundhog Day. Uh-oh, they're going to hit this storm, and then they're done. Like, I thought it was over, Sal. Like, I was on the skeptic side thinking, and very pessimistic side thinking, there's no chance UTEP pulls this one off. and they actually fended off that, that kind of storm that came against them. And a lot of it was L.A. Hayes. He had a big takeover. Late shot clock, he hits the three-pointer. Then, 2 possessions later, he hits a 2-point bucket that was huge. He had that big reverse layup. Eric talked about it as well. And Sal, I think it was an L.A. Hayes spark. Jamal West Jr. paced them. West Jr. paced them nicely, with scoring when they needed it. But they were able to weather that storm. Kennesaw State came out throwing a couple jabs out of the halftime, and the Miners were able to weather that storm and then locked up. After the 10-minute mark, I felt pretty confident. I was like, wow, Kennesaw has no answer offensively for UTEP, and the Miners are just kind of eking out this, or actually they're just confidently winning this game, and it wasn't even close down the stretch.
2 things. One is with Hayes, he's able to pitch in 20 minutes. And 20 minutes in a game where you need pretty much everything. The game is it's stopping every 5 seconds or so. 20 minutes feels like an eternity. So that's number one for L.A. Hayes. But just kind of looking across the board, Adrian, you get a 3 from Trey Horton. That's huge, especially in that point in time. But UTEP able to be really solid from the free throw line in the second half. I mean, if they don't hit their free throws, we're talking about a completely different scenario where, hey, maybe Kennesaw does squeak back in this game with a shot here or there, but they're able to stay the course and stay ahead for a good chunk of it because they did a lot of things right. There wasn't really a detriment to them. If it was fouling, but it's equalized with Kennesaw State because they were fouling a bunch too.
Yeah, and the fouls were just so ticky-tack and ridiculous, late calls and all this stuff. Anyways, Jason Craig texts into the program, I'm a Raiders fan. I hate refs, but Conference USA refs are by far the worst. Yeah, I think that everybody's just on board with this one right here. We'll find out. I mean, maybe angry Tim Floyd fan is saying, maybe we'll find out next year when UTEP goes to the Mountain West and those refs are bad or just as bad, whatever. 915-505-6009. But anyways, Miners close out this game. Big win for them today, 78-71. I didn't think they had this in them, and they made it happen, so credit to them. They held them defensively. I think this was one of the best defensive games we've seen from the Miners. Turnovers, they forced 13 in this one. Points off turnovers, Miners get 18. Those are good numbers right there. Just the glass numbers are going to kind of make you scratch your head. 51-39 is the rebound margin between Kennesaw State. Big, that really favoring their side right there. But the Miners led for 35 minutes. I mean, they were confident in this one, Zay, in the second half, and that led them to this victory. I liked how they played this one in the second half, especially kind of fending off that storm that came their way.
Yeah, I mean, that stretch where, they're up by double digits and Kennesaw, I think they cut it to single digits. Jamal West with that huge big-time block from, the other side of the court.
Dunk? Yeah, 2 possessions after that, he had that massive dunk, that emphatic dunk, yeah.
That little stretch right there, that's when I was like, okay, they're going to win this. They're gonna pull it out, right? They're gonna take care of business. That was the best that they've played, like you said, in weeks. That was their best stretch of basketball. So it gives you, a good feeling going into Saturday. There's so much more urgency with this team. They just look a lot more cleaner. Obviously, you're gonna have those mistakes, those turnovers that you kind of scratch your head. It comes with the way this team's gonna play, but for the most part, they look like they cleaned up their act today, and it was a very enjoyable basketball game to watch.
Miners are now 11-19. They're 7-12 in conference play. Can they make the conference tournament? And then on the flip side, I mean, Zay, I've stood on this statement for a while now, but I'll just say it again. I feel like if the Miners got a head start, this might be loser mentality, and people might disagree, but if the Miners get a head start on the offseason, they have their exit meetings now, they skip out on Huntsville, Alabama, they don't make the tournament, I do believe there's some value in that as well. I mean, contrary to popular belief, I know that might be loser mentality to some people. Make it to the conference tournament at least for your final go-around. But to me, I'm like, I want to know who's going to be back on this team or who's going to leave. I want to know who's going to hit the transfer portal and how much money UTEP will get. And I think, when we were talking to Golding earlier this week, he was alluding to the fact that they will turn the page on having those staff interviews, internal interviews, and then kind of hit the portal as soon as that portal opens, early April or whenever that window hits?
Yeah, and I agree with you to some point, right? For me, I think it's if you don't make it, I'm fine with having that head start, but I want that head start to be, put to use that nobody comes back. Because I don't want anybody back from a team that couldn't make the Conference USA tournament going into the Mount West, right? If Jamal West is gone, that's probably the only guy I'd want back from this squad. Versus if you can get some momentum going into the tournament, maybe snag a game, you can, kind of throw some numbers out to some guys, kind of build around the 2 or 3 guys that you want to really, really go after and come back. That's how I would look at it, right? If you don't make it, I'm fine with having that head start, with having that mentality, but I wouldn't want anybody back.
Okay. Let's actually do this exercise. I think we need to do this pick or pass exercise on guys who can return. And Sal, you got to jump in on this too, okay? So we'll just rope around this because I don't know if you can go and then if you guys really want to elaborate on anybody, go ahead and elaborate. But we just got to just rip the Band-Aid off right here because if I had if you had the value of a certain player, and let's say the higher value players, if they were to return next year, in no order are Kasim Watson, Elijah Jones, and Caleb Blackwell. If you want to throw Tyrese Watson in the conversation, let's do that. If you don't, then maybe throw him in that next tier, whatever that looks like, okay? David Tubeck in the next tier is going to be in that one, along with guys like L.A. Hayes, okay? So that's kind of like the next tier. And then the following tier, so the third tier after that, or I should say below that, it'll be Trey Horton, Mohamed Bai, C.J. Smith, and then Bobby Montgomery, and then also throw in KJ Thomas in that. All right, don't forget about him. But let's just do the conversation. Let's start off from the top tier. Zay, pick or pass on what the perceived value could look like for Caleb Blackwell, Elijah Jones, and Kasim Watson. So go ahead. So if you're picking, you want them back based on their perceived value. So these are going to be money-making guys, like the higher tier guys, right?
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like the Kasim and Elijah kind of get like a higher end of this.
Fair.
To me, just because they're bigs and in this era, like
their value will go high.
They're going to be high. They're going to be more expensive, I'd say, in my mind. So they would demand a little bit more money. But I'd go pick.
I'd pick all three?
I'd pick only Kasim and Elijah, if that's possible.
Kasim and Elijah. Eric, go ahead.
I'd pick, Kasim and Elijah. Unfortunately, I'd probably pass on Caleb. Just because I think you can get somebody in the portal that can do exactly what he does. Just the same thing. Okay.
Sal, any thoughts on those three? Kasim Watson, Caleb Blackwell, and Elijah Jones.
I think I'm going to go Elijah Jones. Obviously, I'm biased. Need him on my fantasy team. But I just think, although it's been a rough stretch these last couple of games, you've been able to see a good sample size for what he could bring to the table. And, we'll see what happens going forward in a do-or-die game over the weekend. So that'd be my number one. And then as far as number two, man, you know what? I'll say Kasim. Yeah,
I like it. Okay, I'm gonna go all three, and no question about it. Okay, and I'm just saying that, and I think that's a hotter take, and people might disagree. Okay, let's go rapid fire for the next group. Okay, so next group of guys is gonna be L.A. Hayes. Zay, pick or pass?
Oh yeah, that's a pick. That's
okay. Eric,
pick.
Okay, Sal,
pick.
Okay, picks all around. Chris, pick or pass? Give me a thumbs up if you're going pick with L.A. Hayes. Are you going pick for that one? Yeah, you had to think about it. Okay, but he gave me the thumbs up. All right, KJ Thomas. Go ahead, Eric. Where are you at? Pick or pass?
I'll pass.
Oh, pass. Okay, Sal, KJ Thomas.
Yeah, I think I'll pass as well.
Wow. Zay.
I'm really shocked by those answers.
Yeah, I'm shocked
I'm
too.
picking.
I'm picking as well because I think the value won't be as high, and you're getting an off the bench defender that you wouldn't have. Like, it's hard to recruit bench players, and I would not be surprised if Caleb Blackwell. I'm not saying he's going to come off the bench, but if the Miners prioritize to keep him and they still improve that backcourt, could you see a rotation where they stagger it and he comes off the bench sometimes? Sure, you could see that possibly down the line, or you could see him starting and then another guard come in to spell him, and you really improve that backcourt in the offseason, whatever that kind of looks like. But I'm just kind of talking out different scenarios. Okay, next tier of guys. Okay, Mohamed Bai. Zay, we'll start with you. Where are you at? Pick or pass?
Pass.
pass. No, I'm jumping right in on a major pick. Dude, this guy might be super cheap. Come on. Like, no. In an era where you need, is this just like, I need a roster spot? Like, no, I need his roster spot? Why?
You know,
I need
Babacar and Benway, Mohamed Bai. They're going to bring in another big. And, you know, I just can't pass.
I'm picking 100 times out of 100 times. Sal, are you siding with Zay here?
No, I'm going to pick just for the sheer fact that it's hard to get somebody, that size on your roster.
Come on.
And also, to be fair, when you combine the amount of points and rebounds he had, it was more than the amount of fouls he had, 5-4. So that's got to stand for something today. They won, by the way.
Delano Tapley is on the way from San Antonio, Brennan, and he's going to steal Mohamed Bai's minutes, and he's going to be 100 times better.
It's okay. Twin Towers. So you can have both of them together. Twin Towers. Eric, pick or pass?
I'll pick.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, Zay? I'm so disappointed. I thought we were on the buy team. I thought you're waving buy to buy. Come on, man. That's messed up. Trey Horton. Is anybody picking? Sal, go ahead.
Pass.
I think we're all unanimous here, right?
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
I mean, just, and actually maybe good for both sides. Like, he probably needs a good fresh start. CJ Smith, we haven't seen him in a long time. Pick or pass, Zay?
Yeah, I'll go pick if he's not on scholarship, which I don't think he is.
Okay. Oh, fair. Yeah, extremely cheap. Eric, I guess this is a no-brainer right here.
Yeah, pick.
Yeah, Sal, you good on that one?
For sure.
Okay. Chris, you good with the pick? No, he's on pass. See, he's like, give me the roster spot instead. Give me the roster spot. That's what Chris says. I like it. 915-505-6009. A little pick or pass. Oh, Bobby Montgomery, our final guy. Yeah.
Oh, I'm all in.
I'm
pick.
picking. Yep.
Okay. Oh, unanimous pick all around. Okay. I'm picking too. I think you can get some good value there. I'm a little worried though about roster spots. Now we don't have a lot of roster spots. Tubeck, are we all passing? Are we all passing there? Yeah. Okay. Everybody's passing. Yeah. And Eric had to laugh a little bit there. Okay. But I'm a little worried about roster spots if all things break the way we're saying. I don't think this is going to happen. I think law of attrition, law of averages tell you it's going to be more than half. So just a fun, quick exercise on that one. But I did want to do that one. I had that on my list today that we needed to hit on. Because, guys, let's be real. Saturday's show is going to either be the final game or we're going to look ahead to the conference tournament. And that's just it. It's either the last show of MinerTalk of the year or Miners somehow get into the tournament, which actually could come their way. The scenario I do want to bring up is one that was brought up by Brett Bloomquist, and I think you're going to appreciate this one, Sal. This was the doomsday scenario that I coined right now from Brett Bloomquist, our pal from the El Paso Times. Imagine a scenario where Delaware lost out, New Mexico State lost out, and UTEP lost out. Like, had they lost today, New Mexico State, had they lost today, and then Delaware, had they lost today. Like, all these teams lose, and they all lose out this entire weekend. It's a three-way tie for the bottom of the barrel of the conference. In that scenario, UTEP would still come out on top. So somehow, if they all lost, UTEP would back their way into the tournament. And it just shows you how bad Conference USA really is. And the head-to-head matchups really matter. Like, NMSU not taking care of business and sweeping Delaware, that hurt them here in the long run. Like, now they're fighting for their end. And even though they won today, that doesn't necessarily protect New Mexico State. Like, they got to win on Saturday. So I don't know. I think the Jacksonville State team, I feel more confident if I'm UTEP playing a must-win game on Saturday than I would be if I'm New Mexico State having to play Kennesaw. Like, that's a tough team right there in the Owls.
Yeah, and I think we've seen, pretty much just like gutting or gut-wrenching loss, gut-wrenching game after game for the Aggies these last couple of weeks. How much do they have in them still at this point in the year? And it's easy to say that, right? Because they're able to, come out on fire after today's game, and UTEP winning today's game as well. But, I mean, just the sheer roller coaster that these teams have been on, like, who has enough juice left in the tank to overcome it all? It may just come down to the final couple of possessions. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I'm with you there completely, Sal. Let's go to Twitter, or actually let's go to a couple texts that are coming in. Kevin, our pal, UTEP sidelines. Great win for UTEP tonight. I have to agree with Zay on Conference USA refs. I spent the evening watching Patriot League basketball, and I can honestly say those refs let them play a good majority of contested shots down low. Not like Conference USA refs that blow the whistle every shot down low. More coming in from Twitter and X. Text Truth Tejano. Quality win for UTEP basketball team tonight. I was at the game, was not expecting a win. I was pleasantly surprised. Go Miners. Still hope someone buys Golding's contract out. Damn. This is from, okay, I think it's time to jump into it, guys. It's Conference USA favorite players of all time. Are you guys ready for this exercise? Sal, how excited are you for this exercise right here?
I'm super excited. I even have my honorable mentions, which I will hold off on,
okay.
For the weekend. But I've got at least 5 guys. I'll probably think of a couple more as we go on. But
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to just rip them off. And then, Chris, you're welcome to text me some as well, or, vote your favorite ones as well here on this one. But let's just start from some of the outside looking in guys, okay? So I'm going to just throw some names. Zay, everybody's mic is hot, so everybody can just chime in on names, okay? We had some good ones. By the way, I want to give some shout-outs to Alex Nicolas, our pal, who texted in, Stephon Jackson has a case, best men's and women's hoops player of all time. His personal dark horse favorite, Aubrey Coleman, who led the nation in scoring and started Houston's rise before the recent day dominance. Chris Douglas Roberts from Memphis, another name, probably close in the top 5. This is me saying this right now. Probably close in the top 5 of best CUSA players. No joke. On the women's side, Alex says, got to be someone from Middle Tennessee. Kayla had a good run and has a case as well. Kayla Thornton. That's an excellent name to mention right there. Kayla Thornton was on my list for sure. She was probably one of the best, if not the best, 2010 to 2014 for the Miners. One of the best women, if not the best, UTEP women's basketball player of all time. That's the kind of I would say like the prowess I would give her. Jordan Clarkson, don't forget, Tulsa's finest, right. Sal. 2010 to 2012, he scored over 1,000 points in his career, 16 points a game, and of course, long career in the NBA. Jordan Clarkson, he just won NBA Sixth Man of the Year probably like 3 or 4 years ago. So shout out Jordan Clarkson, Tulsa's finest, Conference USA's finest. Let's go for some more. You're going to like this one. I felt like this guy played 17 years in college basketball. Javon Quinterly, Memphis, 2011 to 2015, 1,200 points. He was the assist leader. He played a ton in the G League. I got a good one. Los Angeles Lakers' own Trey Jemison, UAB, 2020 to 2024, 12 points, 11 rebounds. He was a rookie with the Grizzlies, and then he got shipped off to the Lakers. So shout out to Trey Jemison. Vladislav Golden. Let's just talk all the Florida Atlantic guys, right? Elijah Martin, part of that Florida Atlantic run that they made to the Final Four. Golden goes on to play for the Michigan Wolverines. Then he ended up being a great prospect for the Heat. He's playing legit. Martin is currently playing overseas, but he actually had a cup of coffee in the NBA as well. Tavion Kinsey. Don't forget about him, Sal. Marshall, 2018 to 2023. That guy never stopped playing basketball. 2,600 points in college basketball. He's part of the very, very exclusive 2,000 points club, all Conference USA for 4 seasons, and he's currently playing overseas. Any name you want to highlight right there? Any ones that come to mind?
Yeah. So right off the bat, he took my favorite non-UTEP Conference USA player of all time, Aubrey Coleman. That man was a dog, and it's crazy because him and Stephon Jackson was quite the matchup to see. I mean, this is a shooting guard heavy list if we're really kind of trying to dig dig deep into it, but those two guys going at it, it was such poetry to see. I'm going to throw off a couple of other names. There was one that he mentioned. I was trying to remember, but how about this for women's basketball? I do want to highlight one. How about Erica Agwumake?
Oh, just great name.
Big time player, and obviously we know what type of players are in that family, right? Just amazing athletes. But some other names I wanted to throw out there. Jordan Clarkson was another one that I had found out, but I think the obvious choice. How can we forget Derrick Rose?
Oh, man. He was my number one. I think it's 1-1, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to give me best player Conference USA history, it's Derrick Rose, and not even close, right?
I agree.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close. It's a huge gap. Zay, any names stand out to you?
I mean, I like...
By the way, this wasn't my list yet. These were outside looking in.
Yeah, I like the Tavion Kinsley one. Marshall. He was part of some bad Marshall teams, sadly. Down the stretch, they weren't that good.
He was like player of the year one year, which is crazy.
Yeah, like to be player of the year, he was really good. And I don't know. There's so many. I like the Elijah Martin one. I mean, man, I remember watching Elijah Martin as a freshman in the Dawn. He was hooping. Vlad Golden, another one. That FAU team was electric. I mean, for me, it's going to be like 2018 on. I'm going to give you the most random guys, but as a whole, I think it is 1A, and there is no 1B.
Okay, let's go to more on this list. These are still outside looking in, and it's sad because
my bad. I jumped it. My bad.
No, Sal. 1-1, I think isn't even close. So I'm glad we ripped the Band-Aid off because the top 5 is fun and debatable. Like the rest of it is really, and even if you want to do 10 or like honorable mentions, kind of like we're talking about, these are outside looking in. These aren't even in the top 10. You know what I'm saying?
I have one. How about Conference USA debut, his final year of eligibility? Give me UTSA's Jeremy Hill.
Oh, there you go.
We're talking about a guy who could do pretty much everything. Hey, Liberty has who is it? The guy who hit the game-winning shot against the Aggies. Not
at Cleveland.
Cleveland, there we go. Liberty has Cleveland. UTSA had Jeremy Hill. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah, he was just the only good player with them, by the way. They were terrible some of those years, too. Quincy Noble, don't forget about him. North Texas, 2019 to 2023. I remember Rodney Terry talking so much about Quincy Noble. So there you go. There's a kind of a recent name right there. Oh, man, I could go on and on. I think we can go 3 hours on this guy. Kenneth Lofton Jr., probably my personal top 5 favorite non-UTEP player in Conference USA. He's currently with the Jazz organization. Actually, I think he's currently in Japan playing basketball or something like that. But shout out Kenneth Lofton Jr., one of my favorites. All Conference USA, 16.5 points, 10.5 rebounds for La Tech, part of the 1,000-point club, and only played 3 seasons. Like, he left early. People forget. And he bet on himself. He's like, no, I'm going to go get drafted. And he played. He played in the NBA. So credit to, somebody like Kenneth Lofton Jr., who we never thought would get to this point.
Yeah, and he had a 40-point. He had a couple of 40-point games, I think, in the NBA, not in the G League, in the NBA.
Meaningless games, but yes, I agree. No, you're right.
But you know who is in the NBA? I think still in the NBA. And I think if they went one-on-one, I'm taking Charles Bassey over Kenneth Lofton.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Such a good pick.
So now you guys are jumping in because he's actually like closer to my like top 10. But I'm going to give you a guy who's sneakily in the top 20 of like best Conference USA players of all time. And this might be maybe to some people like they're going to think, wait a second, what? No way. But I think I'm going to go with this one right here. And it is a little bit because he's having a good season right now too. Jaron Pierre Jr. He's going to be in my top 20, and that might be the hot take, and that might be the only team that's at like a newer Conference USA team that we talk about across it. But Jaron Pierre Jr. is actually playing amazing college basketball right now. Any thoughts there to say? But he's probably my like top 20, like maybe closer to 20 than he is like 10, but he's in my top 20 maybe men's basketball players in Conference USA.
He's really good, and he played at Southern Miss as well, so he has some time in Conference USA prior to Jack State. So if you want to add that in, I think it gives him a bit of a boost. But, if we're going to go transfers like that, I got 3 guys quick off the top of my head over him. Jameer Rice from Charlotte, Davion McKnight from Western Kentucky to Xavier.
Ooh, nice.
And Sule Boom from UTEP to Xavier. I have all three of them over Jerron.
Okay, I like it. I have to put Randy Culpepper, of course, in the conversation of the top 10. And he's probably closer to 5, but I think the good debate is Stephon Jackson versus Randy Culpepper. Like, that would be a good one. How would you think of that one there, Sal? Like, body of work aside, like, throw the careers aside, just player for player, who you want on your team, who you want to build around your team. I think in 2026 we can all agree it's Randy Culpepper because of the style of play and the 3-point acumen and all of that. Or is it Stephon Jackson, who could just be a scorer and do it all type of player like that? I think it's a good debate. And if you had to have the UTEP CUSA representative, where would it be?
No, I'll definitely go Randy Culpepper. In my heart, I choose Stephon Jackson over Randy Culpepper, but just I grew up in a different era where twos were a lot more valuable than they are today. So for that being said, you just get a lot more versatility with Randy Culpepper. I mean, this guy was a highlight machine. If you turn on DJ highlights, you're going to get a dunk here or there, but you're going to get a lot of smooth mid-range jumpers, some clean looks at the cup. For Randy, you don't know what you're going to get, but you know you're going to love it. So give me RC.
Okay, we're going the last 20 years. We're going to stick to when UTEP was in Conference USA. So we're going to go from fair. 2006 to 2026. So right now, Hunter texted, was Paul Millsap CUSA? The answer is yes. He was actually with Louisiana Tech, which is interesting enough. He's probably, if you look at the best players in CUSA history, he's probably in that top 3 conversation. So with Derrick Rose. And I think that just tells you that Paul Millsap comes out of La Tech. That's a crazy story in itself. He never played against UTEP because his final season was 2005. Miners get in 2006. Okay, I'm going to go with now let's start getting into the favorite players of all time, okay? Now let's start to get into the best ones. Tyler Perry, North Texas, 2022-23. Those 2 seasons, he scored over 500 points. He transferred to a Big 12 school, won at a higher level, was part of that early stage of NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff. Jelly Walker, UAB, 2021-2022. They're the CUSA representative. He was the player of the year in Conference USA, and he went to the NBA G League. So shout out to Jelly Walker, who, by the way, balled out in the Summer League. I remember that distinctly. Javion Hamlet, North Texas. Talked a little bit about him. Player of the year. He's currently still playing overseas. So there you go. Ja'Cory Williams. There we go. Middle Tennessee, 2016. Remember that team that went and they beat they beat Michigan State that year as the Cinderella team. Ja'Cory Williams was the best player on that team. Speedy Smith, La Tech, another guy to mention. He's an early kind of La Tech guy. So he's like when Tim Floyd was here going up against the Miners. And Speedy Smith, he was a 1,200 point player. He played overseas. He was the CUSA assist leader, killed it. I think a sneaky guy in my conversation who I'm going to put up over Charles Bassey in terms of productivity on the court, Isaiah Crawford. I'm just going to do it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Zay. I'm just going to do it. Look at the numbers. Isaiah Crawford, 1,400 points over his career. Ultra productive. He's still in the NBA, by the way. Don't forget about Isaiah Crawford. Charles Bassey, Western Kentucky. He was the player of the year, 17 points. 12 rebounds, by the way. Wow, those numbers are insane. Player of the year in 2021. NBA, and he also is bouncing around the international ranks. So you disagree on that one, Zay.
I do. Yeah, Charles Bassey, those Western Kentucky teams were they were terrible, and he carried them. Single-handedly, he would carry them almost every game. He carried them to a Conference USA championship appearance. Their coach was, I don't even remember who their coach was. And all I know is he was always underperforming. He was I wouldn't say a terrible coach, but a frustrating coach to watch. And without Charles Bassey, I don't know, but I can see it. You can talk me into that.
Okay, I'm going to go with my 5. Number 5, I'm going with Randy Culpepper. Number 4, I'm going John Elmore, Marshall, 2015 to 2019.
Good one.
Number 3, I'm going Chris Douglas Roberts, Memphis, 2005 to 2008. Will Barton, number 2, and then Derrick Rose, number 1. Go ahead, Sal. You tell me any other ones that I missed.
We have a lot of solid ones. For sure, got Randy Culpepper. Elmore was amazing. I got another name too, one that I want to throw out there, just on the outside looking in. But Robert Vaden out of UAB.
Yeah,
I was so
memorable.
excited when OKC acquired the rights to him. Didn't work out, but this is back when Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were still friends. However, I want to take out Crawford and I want to take out Bassey and replace it with somebody who I think. Derrick Rose, we know what he did as a freshman, but probably the next best freshman season we've seen, none other than Marshall's Hassan Whiteside. Whiteside set the record for blocks in the season and went straight to the NBA, went over to the Sacramento Kings, didn't work out, but I think that was the same class as Anthony Davis, or if it wasn't the same class, it was not long after that because Davis broke like the freshman record for blocks and stuff because he had more games, and I was like, yeah, it's just because he's on a better team and all that, but nah, give me Hassan Whiteside, man. I definitely got to have him in my top 5.
Caesar Cubillo says he only played one season at UTEP, but give mention to the great Derek Character. Very good point. Shout out Derek Character. More coming in on this topic right here. This is coming in from our pal Chi-Town Miner, who says, maybe not favorites, but memorable. La Tech Speedy Smith for the nickname. Houston's Aubrey Coleman for ruining a higher seed for us. Marshall's Hassan Whiteside. There you go, Sal. Rice's Arsalan Kazemi.
Yeah. He transferred out to Oregon, I think, his senior year.
Derrick Rose, Memphis, of course. Okay, there you go. Papa Dia, SMU, says Coach X from Wex. Aubrey Coleman from Houston. Tariq Black from Memphis. There you go. Those are some good ones, Sal.
Matter of fact, fun fact, how about this? Tariq Black transfers from Memphis to Kansas, and he can't escape UTEP because he plays against the Miners when he's with the Jayhawks.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that. That's a good one. This is from Big Cat, Kean Scroggins, Sam Houston State. That's funny. Angry Tim Floyd, John Elmore. There you go. There's the John Elmore mention again. Poncho, no, this was just about the actual game itself, which we're not talking about. We're talking a little bit more Conference USA. This is Andrew. I didn't get to watch a lot of Conference USA basketball. Didn't really garner a lot of interest the last 5 years or so. But I got to say this. Lamar Wilkerson is one of the best players I've seen and would be my favorite. Oh, you guys like this pick.
I like it. You know, he's balling out Indiana. He's really, really good. And, overall, just going pound for pound in hoops, this guy could score on anybody. And we can't leave out Michael Forrest. FAU, you talk about that Final Four team. He was the best player on that team. Like, he was the guy. They would give it to him. And I'm looking at the win shares total. I think that's the best way that I want to look at this. So some good names so far.
Okay, Chris right here, Chris Collins from Inspo Lens. Great ones. Randy Culpepper, Will Barton from Memphis, Speedy Smith, La Tech, Paul Millsap, La Tech, power forward, Jordan Clarkson, Tulsa, Shake Milton, SMU, Semi Ojeleye, SMU. I think they were out of the conference. We got to double check on that one. I think
so too.
I think they were out of the league. We got to check on that one. But that's still a good one. Robert Dozier.
I remember
Don't forget about Robert
name.
Dozier. Yes, I do kind of remember Semi Ojeleye. I kind of do as well. Don't forget about Robert Dozier, by the way. Jason Williams. Yeah, shout out to our guy, Jason Williams. I agree with that. Then the other, don't forget about Vince Hunter. Somebody also said that one. Caesar Cubillo's The Refs Watching, Kenneth Lofton Jr., and it's a wrestling one. Semi Ojeleye, dude. I mean, he had a cup of coffee with the Celtics. We thought he was some solid ones. Okay, Luca Moda Minor Texan. He says, you're missing some of the Southern Miss players from the Tim Floyd days. I mean, that's true. Some of those guys, like, you just absolutely hated them. Like, I remember some of those Southern Miss teams. That was some of the actually, those were the rivalry games between the Miners and, a team like Southern Miss. You think about Quentin Campbell. Oh, there we go. Raheem Watts. Now it's all coming back to me. These Southern Miss teams weren't good, but somehow they would beat UTEP. And it was like Doc Sadler teams, too. They would somehow beat the Miners. Like, they would get up for those games for whatever reason. We kind of know the reason. Shadell Malingus, I think that's his name. I think that's correct. Kevin Holland. Yeah, now I'm starting to remember these guys. Okay, we got some Southern Miss in this representation. Zay, any other mentions you want to get? Any other names you want to throw out there for Conference USA? Highlights.
Guys, this guy might be in the top 10, and we haven't had a mention of him yet. It's March Madness legend Giddy Potts, man. He was amazing at Middle Tennessee and led them to the upset over Michigan State, so I got to throw him in.
Really good one. Actually, he probably should be the hero. I was wrongly attributing that one. He should be the hero of that team. So that was a great one. Giddy Potts. Good one there, Zay. Any other names you want to throw out there for Conference USA?
No, I'm going to say... Are we like fully into the top 10 now?
Oh,
like, where are we?
No, I already gave my top 5. Like I already gave him the top 5. Derrick Rose number 1, Will Barton number 2, Chris Douglas Roberts number 3. I'll go 4 John Elmore, 5 Randy Culpepper. That's my list right there. 6 Kayla Thornton. So there you go.
Oh, now I have to look at the women's side. I haven't even thought of the women's side.
Yeah,
yet.
The women's side's pretty interesting too. On the women's side, you look at players. I mean, Sal threw out the really good one with Erica Ogwumike from Rice, 2016 to 2020. You also look at Janine Sims from Old Dominion. She killed it. If you really wanted to go back to the TCU days, you can find some really good players. Jillian Robbins from Tulsa in 2006, fantastic. Courtney Taylor from Houston, that was one of the big ones out there. Savannah Wheeler from Middle Tennessee. A lot of the Middle Tennessee players are going to be represented. If you wanted to throw a New Mexico State player out there, Molly Kaiser, solid career that she had. So there you go. There's some Ashley Lang, Southern Miss standout. Jerica Jenkins, Florida International. So we've seen some outstanding. Nancy Mulkey, don't forget about her from Rice, 2019 to 2022. She was killing UTEP. So like there were some really good ones. By the way, Justin with a good one. Trey Murphy from Rice. How did I not know this? Am I off on this? Is that correct? That sounds.
I didn't know.
Sounds
that
right.
What did he say? Trey Murphy?
Yeah, Trey Murphy.
I remember Trey Murphy at Rice.
You said you don't?
I do.
Okay.
I remember. He was good at Rice, too. And then he went to Virginia, and he lit it up. Now he's killing it with the Pelicans.
Okay. I like it. Travis Evie, Max Fielder.
Quincy Olivari.
Quincy Olivari. There we go.
Jameer
That's
Young
what I'm thinking of, yeah.
from Charlotte.
Chris Mullins, don't forget about him. Not the Chris Mullins you're thinking of, but
I got one. Reggie Upshaw out of Middle Tennessee.
Reggie Upshaw, good one. Good one. Good random. Now we're talking some random ones. Trey Murphy was indeed on the 2019 Rice Owls, who were 13-19, terrible that year. Mm-hmm. Western Kentucky. Are we not naming enough Tavion Hollingsworth players? Jared Savage, a little Jared Savage love? No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty good. I think we wrapped it up pretty nicely.
I think I got one more.
All right, go ahead, Eric.
Keaton Wallace.
Oh,
yeah, Keaton Wallace.
We forgot. Lane Frank sent us Keaton Wallace and Javon Jackson. How do we forget Javon Jackson?
They were studs.
Javon Jackson, Sal. We like Javon Jackson, right?
That's right.
That was a Lane Frank one, and I was like, man, that made me think of Sal Montes for whatever reason. I don't know if it was a good reason or just because we had so many Keaton Wallace, Javon Jackson games. I don't know what it was, but it felt like they played a million times against each other over the years.
Yeah, because I mean, it was the travel partners. They would play back-to-backs, and they would just. But I mean, have we mentioned Amari Archibald?
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
He might be better than Isaiah
Amari.
Crawford.
No,
like,
stop
come
this. Stop this.
Come
right
on.
now.
He if we're gonna go
Isaiah
Louisiana
Crawford
Tech
might
guys,
be my top 10.
Amari Archibald might be better, man.
Umaja Gibson. How do we forget, guys? Come on. How do we forget Umaja Gibson? North Texas' finest. Thomas Bell, North Texas' finest. We forgot about him. How about when Conference USA was teetering on a multi-bid league? Some of those top-level players who were on those teams.
Oh, man. Jerome Jordan, Tulsa, the center.
There you go. James Woodard, Tulsa, sophomore. He was killing it. Michael Craig from Southern Miss. There's another name for you, UTEP. Sean Jones, Middle Tennessee. Alex Hamilton from La Tech. Trey Freeman, Old Dominion. Remember when Old Dominion was a team? TJ Price, Western Kentucky. George Fant, Western Kentucky. A lot of Western Kentucky guys. James Kelly, Marshall. Don't forget about him. We talked about Reggie Opshaw. Chris Coakley from UAB. This is when UAB started to get pretty good. Eric McCree. Oh, man, we've had a lot of Eric McCree conversations. La Tech, that's for sure. Yeah, I remember those days. And then Justin Johnson, Western Kentucky. There's another one. Trey Porter. Oh, I like the Trey Porter conversations with Old Dominion. See, Old Dominion was sneaky cool. Like when they were a team, they were a lot of fun. Yeah, I miss them. This is from Pinky. Julian Stone, UTEP, nice big point guard, great ball handler, leader, court vision. Yes, I don't like the bad mouth referees. Conference USA are bad ones. Great win tonight. Hashtag MinerTalk. I think it'd be cool to rank the best UTEP players in their CUSA run. Like, that would be kind of a fun, exercise to do. The top tier is so difficult, and then it gets kind of just fun, like when you piece together everything else. But the top tier is Randy Culpepper, Stephon Jackson, Vince Hunter, and I think that's it, right? I think that's it. There's no other ones out of conference. Would you guys throw anybody else in that conversation?
Character, maybe?
No, I don't think so. I think those guys, because it's body of work, they were pros, body of work, and it all worked out. Like, they were high-level winners at UTEP. Like, that's kind of how I would categorize those three.
Bryson?
No, not. He's in the next tier. I think, like, character, Bryson are part of that next tier. Sule could maybe be in that next tier. Stone's in that next tier.
Washburn.
No doubt about it. Washburn to, Jason Williams.
Moultrie.
Omar Thomas. Yeah, Moultrie in that conversation. Bohannon probably in that next tier conversation. But, like, the top tier, Hunter, Culpepper, Jackson, I think that has to be it. Like, that top tier. And I don't know what order you go. I think that's the fun debate of, like, that when you kind of rank the last 20 years, who are the best players UTEP history in basketball over these 20 years in conference, you say. That'd be a fun exercise. I would love to hear it. Oh, I love the UTEP Miner. Aaron and Alvin Jones, don't forget about them. Conference USA standouts. There you go. I love it. Yeah, I think the ranking list could be a fun exercise. Maybe if we could stuff that in on Saturday, but we'll see. Guys, I think we can wind this one down. It's been a great Miner Talk. It's been a great show here today. Saturday is when it all matters. Appreciate everybody listening in. I know Saturday is going to be the day where everybody wants to talk the future. What's it going to be like? And that's why we kind of saved it for Saturday. We'll save it till then. But let's get some final thoughts from everybody. We'll start with you, Eric. Final thoughts today. UTEP, big win today. Tonight, 78-71 over Kennesaw State.
Well, this is it. It comes down to Saturday. Huge game on Saturday. They need a win. They need to hope that NMSU loses, and they need to hope that FIU loses as well. I believe that's the scenario. So, must win. And if Saturday is the final CUSA game, I have a theory as to why UTEP has been so terrible for these past 20 years.
What's your theory?
I'll save it for Saturday.
Okay, you'll save it for Saturday. I like it. Some cryptic stuff there. I like it. Let's go with you, Sal. Final thoughts as we're winding it down.
Hey, they were able to be in unfamiliar territory today, being on the other side, as close to wire as you could get. They were able to be the more effective team throughout 40 minutes of inconsistent and disruptive flow to their game. Same thing for Kennesaw State. Just couldn't get any rhythm going. That whistle was blowing a lot today. So you want to keep that aggression going into the final game of the year. We'll see if somebody can step up. Can they have somebody come off the bench and, get 20 minutes or more? Can they get 10 points or more? Is that going to be the difference? And Elijah Jones, this is your time to shine. Come on, man.
Okay, a couple quick tweets to get to because I just missed these right here. This is from Tristan Pence. Hayes and Bai gave UTEP valuable minutes. I believe either UTEP or both New Mexico State and FIU will lose Saturday. They both just have very tough matchups. The Miners have to take care of business on Saturday afternoon on their side. This is coming in right now. More here on the program from Eric Bernal. I don't think this scenario is true. He was talking about if all lose Saturday, UTEP, New Mexico State, FIU, based on what I'm looking at, New Mexico State is the odd team out, and UTEP's in. So I'll maintain that until I see something otherwise. But I mean, this is such a wacky conference, Zay. Before we bring you on for your final words and have everything, this is such a wacky conference that if you're a UTEP, just control what you can control. Kind of being cliche to what they've said and preached all week long, and we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, the Miners absolutely need to win on Saturday. They can do it against a team they've done so against in the past in Jack State, who lost today in a game that they shouldn't have lost to in New Mexico State. So it leads me to believe the Miners have a chance. They definitely do.
They have a chance, and I think that's a perfect way to put it. UTEP needs to control what they can control. I think we'll have more clarity on everything tomorrow. I think, better of an idea of what needs to happen on Saturday. This conference, like we've mentioned all program long, like it's been a war. It's been a war towards the end of this, towards the bottom of this conference for that final spot. And at least UTEP's playing meaningful basketball in March, if that's the way you want to put it.
Oh, man. I don't know if I would put it this meaningful. But, hey, maybe they've got some meaningful upcoming weeks ahead of them. Whatever happens. I'm fascinated on this offseason. It's a big pivotal offseason for them. They're going to the Mountain West. They need to inspire their fan base more. They need to inject some life and some excitement in this fan base. And tonight, good win. I'm going to give them that here on the program today. It was a wire. They led pretty much wire to wire in this one. It was tied for a couple times, but other than that, the Miners controlled this one in a big way. We'll be back in action Saturday. Final game of the regular season. It's Jacksonville State. 1 o'clock tip-off. We'll have MinerTalk afterward, presented by Jack in the Box. And then it could be the final season wrap-up, or we could be talking a little Conference USA tournament preview for the Miners going into this weekend. Could they make it to Huntsville, Alabama? We'll wait and see. But for everybody here in the studio, for Chris Collins, for King Eric, for Zay Galindo, for Sal Montes, I'm Adrian Broadus. We're signing off. Late Night Miner Talk, presented by Jack in the Box. Also brought to you in part by Thomas Adams Apparel, right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
And now an ode to play, brought to you by Scratchers and the California Lottery Philharmonic.
Take a time out from your busy day for a quick moment of play. Get some scratchers, then get scratchy. You deserve it, won't you say? Scratch, 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 scratchy, 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 scratch, scratch. Feel the play and up your game. Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make a day.
Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.